So today we're going to learn how to perform the prime factorization, also known as the prime decomposition, of any given number. And if you cannot recall what a prime number is, please check out my earlier video, which you can now see towards the top of your screen, which explains to you what a prime number is. And so what is a prime factorization of some number? A prime factorization of some number is an attempt to find those primes that when multiplied together give you that number. So we are trying to find the prime factors, so the prime numbers that when multiplied together give you this product, this number, 168. So our goal is to find prime numbers that when multiplied together give you 168. And so since we are after prime numbers, a logical starting point would be a list of prime numbers. And here I am just going to list out the first 10 prime numbers. You can look up this list online or maybe in a math textbook, or once again, you can refer to my earlier video about prime numbers as well as how to calculate them, where I physically calculate, or rather find, these first 10 prime numbers. So the first 10 prime numbers are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, and 29. Good. So now we've gotten that out of the way, now that we've gotten the first 10 prime numbers out of the way, let's go ahead and write down the number that we want to factorize. So 168. 168. So now you have to ask yourself, is this number that we want to factorize divisible by any of these prime numbers? So is 168 divisible by any of these prime numbers? And in our particular case, it is immediately obvious that 168, or our number, is clearly divisible by some of these prime numbers, because 168 is even, and any even number is divisible by 2, so we will know that we can divide this number by 2. Now, what are we going to get after we divide 168 by 2? So what times 2 is equal to 168? Well, in order to find it, we just have to perform the division. We have to divide 168 by 2. And if you cannot recall how to do long division, please check out my earlier video, which you can see to the right, which clearly explains how to perform long division. Here we're just going to do it very quickly. So 2 divides into 1 0 times. 0 times 2 is equal to 0. Subtract 1, drop down to 6. 2 goes into 16. 8 times 2 is equal to 16. 0, drop down the 8. 2 goes into 8. 4 times 2 is 8. 0. So 168 divided by 2 is equal to 84. Therefore, we're going to have an 84 over here. Now, are we done here? Is this our prime factorization? Well, no, because 84 can be once again factorized, because 84 is also an even number, and any even number is divisible by 2. So we know that we can divide this 84 by 2 and something else. So what are we going to get? What times 2 gives us 84? Alternatively, 84 divided by 2 is equal to what? So once again, let's do the long division. So we're going to have 84 divided by 2. 2 goes into 8 4 times. 8, 0, drop down to 4. 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4, 0. So we're going to have 42 left over. 42 left over. Now, Are we finished here? Is this our prime factorization? Well, the answer is no, because once again, 42 is an even number, so we know that 42 can be divided by 2, and the only question is, what are we going to have left? Well, instead of performing the long division, 42 is a low enough number we can try to do the math in our heads. 40 divided by 2 is just equal to 20, and then 2 divided by 2 is just equal to 1, so we're going to be left with 21. Now, is this our prime factorization? These bottom leaves of this tree, if you will? No, this is not our prime factorization, because even though 2, 2, and 2 are prime numbers, 21 is not a prime number, and you can verify this by looking at our list of prime numbers. These are the first 10 prime numbers, and 21 is not on the list, even though the list goes as high as 29. Therefore, we know that 21 is not a prime number, and therefore it can as well be factorized. The only question is, what can it be factorized by? Well, 21 is clearly not divisible by 2 because it is not an even number. How about by 3? Well, if you think about it long enough, you'll realize that 21 is in fact divisible by 3. It is divisible by 3, and it is divisible by 3, yielding a quotient of 7. So 3 times 7 gives you 21. Alternatively, 21 divided by 3 gives you 7. And now, is this our prime factorization? Well, think about it for a moment. Yes, it is. 2 is a prime number. 2 is a prime number. 2 is a prime number. 3 is a prime number. And 7 is a prime number. Therefore, this is our prime factorization. So, in other words, 168 is equal to 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 7. Or, alternatively, it's simply equal to 2 times 2 times 2 is equal to 2 to the power of 3 times 3 times 7. And that's your final answer.